Central banks around the world are still printing money, and this is causing inflationary pressures from the core raw commodities right through the manufacturing process and ultimately onto the retail shelf. At the same time, central banks are also raising interest rates to try and quell consumer demand. This is creating a fine balancing act for many companies to try and balance potential declining demand with rising costs. So what can be done? Well, there's a number of things that any management team can do to protect margins and still drive earnings growth in these rather difficult times. I'm going to go through 10 things that you can actually do to protect your margins and profitability. The first one, particularly for B2B, is to develop a robust list price architecture. This means getting the good, better, best or budget, good, better, best ultra price architecture set up in your business such that you capture the margin potential, particularly from your premium products. In many instances, we see products that are underpriced, particularly when they have specific applications or are a premium application in the marketplace. The second thing that you can do is to review your customer discount structure. We see many companies with a simplistic level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 type discount arrangement with customers mapping to one of those particular levels. In many instances, customers are mapping to levels 1 and 2, whilst the lower level discounts of 3, 4 and 5 are often non-existent. What we recommend is creating a much more sophisticated customer discount approach that creates a unique customer code by product subclass for each customer. It sounds complicated, but it's actually more straightforward than might be first thought. And in this way, you can improve substantially your margin profitability. You also want to develop a more sophisticated approach to discounting, and particularly to tactical discounting. This means having the right tools and decision-making optimization approaches to understand what depth, duration, frequency, and mechanics you'll be using to find the right optimal balance between volume and profitability, particularly in competitive markets. And that leads us to strengthening your policies and guardrails and delegation of authority levels. Many times we see discounts being made that are substantial impact on EBIT margins and profitability without the necessary oversight or guardrails or even aligned to the right strategic positioning in the marketplace. Strengthening up your guardrails and discount controls is one major way that you can use to improve profitability. You also want to create price floors and ring fence those products that you don't want discounts. So minimum sell prices for key items where you have some sort of pricing power is important. You also want to look at creating guardrails around your pricing and profitability to make sure that products that don't need to be discounted are not discounted. In addition, you want to review your major account contract and rebate programs. We see rebates as an area that is often under-focused upon, and in many cases, passive rebates are paid out, simply a tax on profitability. Rebates should actually be a profit center, and in fact, you can have a terminology in your business called return on rebate investment. If you structure your rebates correctly, maximizing share of wallet, and protecting your business against opportunistic threats from competitors who might be discounting heavily 1 or 2 SKUs to try and break into some of your valuable accounts. With the right rebate structure, you can protect those accounts. It's important that you model the profitability of those rebates such that you can clearly identify a return on rebate investment, meaning that the rebate is performance-based and easily measurable and defined and understood by the customer. In addition to that, you want to review any service level agreements or customer demands. So if customers have unique demands for service levels or for product lead times or configurable make-to-stock order combinations, you can find pricing power in these particular elements. We often see service levels or supply chain pricing that's flat across an organisation, whereas supply chain service levels are a critical opportunity and way for your business to make more margin and more profitability, particularly those areas which are considered commodity or where you have to be at a particular market price in order to compete. In addition, for your customer contracts, you want to include robust volatility clauses to ensure that any cost changes from your raw material inputs are captured and easily passed on to your customers, such that you protect your operating margins and your customers in turn will pass on necessary price increases to their customers without it being a protracted and complicated negotiation leading to cash flow crunches on your part. And that leads us to the next thing, which is developing a much more sophisticated approach to price increases. In many instances, we see flat, across the board percentage price increases applied to all customers and all products. Or there may be some basic price discrimination by channel and by some categories. The optimal approach to price increases is to create a unique price increase per SKU or article by customer. Again, this sounds complex and challenging, but it can easily be done with the right methodology and the right technique. You may need to pare back from that level of complexity and do it at a product subclass and by product or customer type. However, it's important to understand that the price increase opportunity is maximised when you get at the deepest level of segmentation of that increase. And finally, you want to transform your business from a cost plus or commodity based mindset business to one that is value based and one that is a commitment based business to value. By training your teams to understand the language of value pricing, you can ensure that your teams will be able to communicate with each other and define and capture that value more effectively with their customers. If you'd like to discuss any of these approaches to improving profitability within your business or undertake price optimization for immediate margin improvement, you can get in contact with us at pricinginsight.com.au and we can have a confidential discussion.